United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good afternoon and welcome. I'll read the appeal of decisions pursuant to the provisions of 2.68.030 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws. Please take notice that decisions of the Metropolitan Board of Parks and Recreation may be appealed to the Chancery Court of Davidson County for review under a common law writ of certiorari. Any appeal must be filed within 60 days after entry of a final decision by the board. Any person or other entity considering an appeal should consult with an attorney to ensure that time and procedural requirements are met. We will now take the consideration of minutes. Have you all had an opportunity to read the minutes?
So moved.
Thank you so much. Is there a second?
Second.
It has been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Metropolitan Council referrals. Are there any referrals from the council?
No council members present, no.
Thank you so much. We don't have any old business. Moving now to the consent agenda. If you all had an opportunity to review or accept the motion.
We accept the consent agenda.
Is there,
Second.
Thank you so much. It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you so much. All opposed? Make sure I do that. That is long. All righty, new business, 12-19-04, Capital View Joint Venture requests the Metro Parks Board to accept a donation of 2 parcels of land, a segment of the Gulch Greenway and Greenway Trailhead. These parcels are identified as 0.26 acres parcel 093-01-00-9800, located at 128 Lifeway Plaza, and 0.14 acres parcel 093-305-020300, located at 1008 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Capital View Joint Venture also requests approval from Metro Parks to enter into a maintenance agreement that would allow Capital View Joint Venture to maintain the landscape on 2 parcels and Metro Parks to maintain the hardscape. We're going to be presenting supporting documentation from someone.
You have it here.
Okay. Any notes?
We request this go to the acquisition committee.
Yes, ma'am. We'll defer it to acquisition. Thank you so much. 12-19-05, Creative Parks Nashville requests board approval for application and ultimate acceptance for fiscal year 2021 grant funding of $4,500 from the Tennessee Arts Commission to supplement a year of free big band dances for the public with Metro Parks to provide matching funds required of the grant. Is there a staff recommendation?
This is the usual. Arts Commission is allowing the Friends Group to apply for the grant. We'll match it. It's approximately 15,600 attend the big band dance from June to August.
Recommend approval.
All righty. Are there any questions from the board? Thank you. Is there a second? It's been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. 12-19-06, staff requests board approval of facility rental fees for the new Bellevue Regional Center scheduled to open Saturday, December 14th, 2019. Staff has made the recommendation for approval. Are there any additional comments from staff?
This is these rates are comparable to Southeast, which is a similar square footage as well.
You have a corrected version that Janet gave you, so they're consistent with other community centers, so recommend approval.
Any questions from the board?
I make a motion to approve.
Is there a second? All righty, thank you so much. It's been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. We're moving now to special presentations and introductions. We're going to move up. Jackie Jones to present the upcoming special activities and events.
Couple of things to tell you about. I wanted to remind you of the holidays, the student teacher holiday art sale at the Centennial Arts Center.
Yeah.
That sale is still going on, and it will go on till December 15th. Also wanted to call to your attention on this Friday, December 6th, the 2019 tree lighting ceremony will take place at Public Square Park. And on December 14th, At 1 p.m., we will have the grand opening of the Bellevue Community Center.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We're going to move now to our special presentations. The Friends of Beaman Park to present their annual update to the board.
I'm Jim Haney, president of Friends of Beaman Park. This is my first time doing this, so I'm not exactly sure what you're... This past year, we had the old Proctor barn rebuilt with the help of Monique, Jim Hester, Bill Troop, and Lynn Ann and Chris Gurn. It was very successful. They had a lot of trials and tribulations. The roof collapsed, and they put it back together, and Carmichael Company did a fine job, and we had and Metro had a barn dedication and a plaque installed, and then after that we had another celebration for Pinky, the lady who had donated the land and the property, and that all went really well. And so just regular stuff in the park. You know, our park is a natural park. It's mainly trees and then a few trails and the like. And so I think Bill Troop and Jim Hester and I don't know who all come up with the idea, but we've got a lot of backcountry that is just, you know, kind of virgin forest. And so now we're going to have a 10-mile loop, which is already cut in, and it's not open yet, but 10-mile loop with a 5-mile cut through, which is really going to enhance the natural beauty of the park. You know, people that really want to, you know, take a Smoky Mountains type hike will be able to go through there and spend a day hiking and the like. And I think Rock City Machine did that work, and looks like they've done a nice job. And we've got some things left. I understand the boardwalk and a few other things that they're going to be doing. And until we get the signage, until the park gets signage up, you're all not going to open it until then. And so we're just working on things to improve and try to get membership up. And Friends, it's already being utilized quite a bit. It's just kind of a word-of-mouth park. Everybody just shows up and enjoys the beauty, and it's a little less traveled than Percy Warner, so we're liking that. Hadn't had a lot of money raised this year. We're probably about $4,000 in savings and checking right now. We got an endowment back for $900 just last week that we added to it. And is there any questions? That's about what I know.
Thank you, Mr. Haney. We appreciate it. The Friends of Bells Bend Park to present their annual update to the board.
I think he's out here. I just saw him come in.
We'll move to Greenways for Nashville to present their annual update to the board.
I'm not sure if they're here yet.
Okay.
Jamie was here.
So I'll give it a second.
Forgive for being all on time and efficient.
I know.
Exactly. They're like, where? What are you
10
doing?
minutes.
I'll get them here real quick.
Hello. Friends of Bells Bend Park?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, you're welcome. My name is Graham Sherrill. I'm president of the Friends of Bellsman Park. And I'm not seeing... Oh, Sharon's here. Okay. Sure. Yeah, I guess, is there anything in particular you're looking for from us? Or just a general overview?
A general overview.
Okay.
What's going on with the park?
Cool. So we do several things. We do some conservation projects, and then we do several events each year. For the conservation projects, we've got we're managing a wetland project that was started for shorebird ponds. Money for that came from the Tennessee Department of Conservation. This year we repaired a break in a dam that was a part of that wetland. Currently working on bids to remove invasive plants from those wetland areas. We have a pond between our outdoor center and the campgrounds that we had repaired this year. and we're planning to build a floating dock to use in nature programs there. We also have interest in building a duck blind at the shorebird pond to be used for the close observation of those type of shorebirds. Each March we participate in the weed wrangle, and we had volunteers consisting of Hands-On Nashville volunteers, a school group, and also neighbors that live in Bells Bend in the area. And we had about 200 sheep from the Chew crew join us in controlling some of the privet overgrowth that's there around the old Buchanan and Bell House, which is located on the park property as well. And then as far as events, in April we had the Outdoor Expo and Recreation Show, which showcases vendors associated with outdoor recreational activities, includes food provided by our local tractor club, music, kids activities, hay rides, and a running competition event. That event, the Outdoor Expo and Recreation Show, had attendance of 1,605 people this year. And in October, we have our annual Farm Day, which we just finished. Excuse me. This event includes a barbecue wagon staffed by our local Scottsboro Jordonia Tractor Club, a display of antique tractors, kids' games, a pumpkin race, vendors, horses, chickens, sheep, goats, a hayride, as well as craftspeople and artists. Our hayrides are provided by the Graves family of Bells Bend, and Tractor Supply is a generous sponsor of this event. This past year we did have perfect weather and had an attendance of 1,075 people. And in the last few years, I guess 4 years ago, we added a fiddle and banjo contest to Farm Day. And so we've had that the past 3-4 years. This year we also added folk song and old-time duo. And these are competitions for cash prizes, much along the same lines as Smithville Fiddlers Jamboree and Uncle Dave Macon Days. It's a type of thing that isn't really offered in Nashville, and that's something we've started as a part of Farm Day. Seems to be a big hit so far. But that attracts a lot of local and regional musicians, fiddle players, banjo players, old-time music, and now singers. And then the sponsors for that contest included Scouts Barbershop, the Old School Farm to Table Restaurant, and the Bells Bend Conservation Corridor. And lastly, we're excited about the new acquisition of the sod farm at the tip of Bells Bend, and would like to be included in discussions related to the future use of this land and management or vision for how that could be developed in the future. And in closing, we just look forward to continuing our relationship with Bells Bend Park by helping out in the office, working on gardening projects and supporting the other park activities and the staff as needed. So,
Thank you so much.
You're
Are there
welcome.
any questions on the board? All right, thank you again for your time.
Yeah.
We'll now hear from Green Waste for Nashville to present their annual update to the board.
PowerPoint up, but even without. It was working a minute ago.
It's coming up.
Yeah, awesome. There it is.
It was cold.
It was gifts.
Oh, good.
You know, uses up a minute to hand out gifts. So I gotta be
Hello, thank you.
I was totally convinced for 6 seconds that that was a stick of butter. I was total. Like, I was like, wow. Stick of butter. Yeah, it's cute. Not butter. It's cute. It is much more practical than
This is nice.
Good afternoon. My name is Amy Crownover, and I'm the executive director of Greenways for Nashville.
Yes.
Greenways for Nashville is a 25-year-old nonprofit organization. We are a friends group to the Greenways and Open Space Division. We enjoy a very strong and dedicated board, 26 board members. All are quite actively engaged. Director Odom, as well as Cindy Harrison, the director of Greenways and Open Space Division, are ex officio members to our board as well. Excuse me. We are on this planet. Our mission is to create, preserve, and promote a system of greenways in Nashville and Davidson County. With nearly 100 miles of greenway trails in the system, it's obviously across the county work. Creating to us is defined as physically contributing towards the actual construction of greenway trails. This is the opening of the 440 Greenway Trail in the period that I'm addressing today. And Greenways for Nashville was involved in contributing hard dollars to the capital construction, as well as enhancements on the trail, and in this case, worked with the Greenways Division to improve and upgrade the graphic designs of the trailheads. So you will see this example throughout the new urban loop greenway, the city central system, and there's one right outside the door at the other trailhead to the 440 Greenway. Greenways for Nashville is also engaged in preserving land. Before the trail happens, there has to be the land. And this is a picture of Lytle Farm, which was a large tract of property acquired several years ago with assistance from donors through Greenways of Nashville. It is park property now and is in master plan. It's adjacent to the Stones River Greenway near Stone Hall, which was also acquired and renovated with some support through Greenways for Nashville private donors. The promote piece, probably something that is the most visible, is the Greenways system map. We have produced, this is in its third upgrade with the nearly 100 miles of trails. It also shows park primitive trails and parks across the county. The Greenway crumpled map is a limited edition. It is the full county map. It's a waterproof product. We basically hijacked an idea from the High Line in New York City. They fly off the shelves there. The crumpled map is available during the holiday season at REI in Brentwood, and 100% of the proceeds come back to Greenways. Nice. So super excited about that. If you need stocking stuffers, please head out to REI. Know your money is coming straight back into the system. Along with the paper maps, which are free and distributed throughout the nature centers, community centers, by council members across the city, there's also a free app, which is called NashGR. It's a pocket app that you can use to explore the greenways and the parks. So those are our big contributions in promotion. The period that we are reviewing today, some financial highlights are that over $200,000 was contributed directly towards trail construction and improvements along greenway trails. Our staff, through the generous support of private donors, doubled. That enables us to have more reach and cast a broader net throughout the county. We had over 1,000 people attend our various fundraisers, Richland Creek Run, Dinner by the Bridge, and then a free members event. So a lot of faces come out in support and to learn about greenways. We distributed over 20,000 printed maps. They literally fly off the shelves. In that period, in that 12-month period. And we produced or attended 36 major outreach events, seeing thousands of people. We have staff and we have volunteers who are there as our ambassadors to the Parks Department and the Greenway Trail System. Communication, again, part of the outreach. We have a staff member dedicated to communication and outreach. Was one of the enhancements through the increased budget and private donor dollars. We distributed, in that period, 3,000 printed annual reports that give a great snapshot of what's going on in the system. We have over 7,000 Facebook followers. Not keeping score, but we are pretty near the top of all conservation organizations in Nashville. And that is because we have very engaging content and informative, so folks follow us. Twitter, Instagram, you can see are both at about 1,500. And then we have almost 5,000 people who have actively subscribed to our monthly e-blast. Many of you received this morning, along with Greenways for Nashville, from probably any other nonprofit you have ever thought of supporting. I'm going to close on the Giving Tuesday really as an example of the graphics that we're able to produce with the private dollars, professionally designed graphics that highlight why people love Greenways. And in our 25th anniversary, this graphic you will have seen from this morning at 5:02 highlights the Parks Department's achievement of nearly 100 miles of Greenway. There are 75 trailheads. That's a lot of access points. 90% of Nashville neighborhoods are within 2 miles of a Greenway trail, and those trails cover or are developed along 18 major corridors, mostly river corridors. How to get a hold of us? Super easy. Greenways for Nashville. It'll pop up on Twitter, Facebook, web, whatever. Please reach out if you have any questions to me now or afterwards. I'm available, amy@greenwaysfornashville.org. Any questions?
Questions?
So
Thank you.
last year, how many miles of Greenway have we added? Like last year and then the year before? I can't remember.
So for those precise, if I might defer to Cindy Harrison, I don't want to
Yeah, because I thought we were like at 85 miles or something.
Well, that's not the last,
Okay.
we've added less than 15 in the last year.
Okay.
We've got,
Oh, so we have. So that's good.
we're around, measure around 5 or 6 miles.
And probably what some of the counting, the data analysis that was put into producing the most recent map was extremely thorough. So it gave us a chance for perhaps miles that hadn't been recognized before. We've got the spreadsheet. We've counted the miles, gone out there and walked a few of them. So that is, but we are just under, the system is just under 100 right now.
And then 440 Greenway, what's the next step on that? Because I think that's great.
It's 1.25 miles there. And then Mill Creek at Orchard Bend is finishing up this month. So we'll have an opening hopefully in the spring when the weather gets better. And that's another about 2.25 miles of Greenway for an overall stretch there of a little over 4 miles. It's a pretty good section.
So with your crumpled map, you can perhaps explore a Greenway you've not been on. It's 100 miles is a lot, and there are some that are tucked away that might not be in your neighborhood. And the question we ask folks, just in an engaging setting, is, what's your favorite Greenway?
Let me recommend the Whites Creek Greenway.
Everybody has their favorite. And, you know, that's what it's about. It's the community around those favorites.
It will be beyond that. No, that's Ted Rhodes.
So I'm going to put a stack of printed maps out front for anybody. The printed maps are free. I'm going to send you to REI for the crumpled maps because REI is an incredible partner to us on that program. So we are thrilled to have their support.
Thank you, Amy. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
I want to recognize the presence of our Council Lady Hancock today. Thank you so much. Do you have any referrals, anything you need to tell us?
I did. I just wanted to hear what you guys were talking about.
Well, we're moving fast today.
That's great.
Efficient.
We're efficient. Yeah. I'm going to move to capital projects from update from Tim Nation.
I'll mention 3 projects. The new swings and pavilion at Smith Springs Park have been completed. In Percy Warner Park, we've been working with Friends of Warner Parks on the alley restoration, and so the contractors on that will launch and begin fencing off that construction zone in the next couple of weeks, and then that'll be about a 6-month long project, and it'll be a total restoration of the LA, which is that rustic stone staircase going up the hill, along with a lot of drainage improvements, things like that. Jackie mentioned the opening of the Bellevue Community Center, but if you'd like, before attending that ribbon cutting, there will be an event at Watkins Park Community Center where we're working with Nashville Parks Foundation, Oasis Center, and Sorba on a pump track project. So there will actually be a mobile pump track that's set up in the gymnasium for that event, and it's to raise awareness of the fundraising effort there. And that's at 10 a.m., is that correct?
Until 2.
Tim,
So it's
can
kind of
you-
open housey.
Can you
Hot dogs
explain
and
what a
hot
pump track
chocolate.
is? Because I don't think everybody knows.
So a pump track is a track that is really designed for bikes, mountain bikes or BMX bikes, but it can also be used by people on skateboards or scooters. And it has a series of rolls and bank berms so that if you know what you're doing and have some practice, you can actually make a circuit all the way around the track without pedaling, only by pumping and momentum. And the better you get, the more you can get air and do other kind of tricks and maneuvers on it. But it's something that works for beginner cyclists on a pump track and for expert cyclists. So they all will kind of come together here. And it'll be the first in Nashville and the first in Middle Tennessee, really. And they're good. Just Google pump track and you'll see some pretty cool pictures.
Or you could go to the National Parks Foundation website and learn a lot more. There's pictures.
I knew. That's what you good.
Thank you so much, Tim. We're going to move to department updates.
We do not have any.
No department updates. Report of the director.
All right, thank you so much. So you all, as you may be aware, Mayor Cooper recently created a task force on public integrity. And so I thought it would be timely, it was timely that I left with you a copy of the ethical acknowledgments that you all signed when you signed on to become park board members, just to update you on those, to give you a, you probably have a copy, but to give you a copy, another copy of those. And then also I included a printout of the board member training and orientation that Macy Amos was kind enough to offer a few months ago. And it covers some of the same information, ethical standards, conflicts of interest, and roles and responsibilities of park board members. So I thought, again, with Mayor Cooper creating his task force, it was timely that you all get this information from me. On today's park board agenda, you approved fees for the Bellevue Regional Community Center, and that center again will open on the 14th. We will come back next month with the entire fee schedule, proposed fees, changes in any ways for you all to review, not just that 1 month, but I think probably George and Stan know how many fees we have, and several hundred. And
we can get it before the meeting because it's so long.
You will get it before the meeting,
Okay.
and then I don't expect you all to have it digested and even vote on it at the meeting. But we've been working on it since the summertime, actually. John Holmes, Jim Hester, Shanita White, and Steve Nellums have been working diligently on these fees since the summertime, so I appreciate them. But we have in the past revised and proposed fees probably every couple of years at least, and we haven't done it in a while. And there's some that we believe need to be changed or added. So we will have that for you next month. Our mid-year budget meeting with the finance department is next week. We expect to talk about the current budget year and our savings targets, and then the upcoming year. Hopefully we will get some more detailed instruction either at that meeting or shortly thereafter so we can move forward. We've been told by Mayor Cooper and the finance director that the budget process, annual budget process, will start in December. So we expect those instructions in the next few weeks, and I will share those with you. And we will also, under the leadership of Terry Hughes, have a finance committee meeting of this board, just to kind of update and talk about some things, and then to talk about those instructions and probably strategy for the department. I have continued to meet with new council members, having a series of one-on-ones, kind of orienting them on the department and hearing about needs in the community. So I will continue to do that. It's been very interesting and eye-opening for me and for them as well. And then finally, I want to give a special thank you to the Nashville Parks Foundation for their generous support of our employee holiday lunch, which will be December 13th. For the past several years, the foundation has financially supported the holiday luncheon, and I am very appreciative. This is normally the only time that all employees are able to get together and kind of fellowship. And so I really, really appreciate that. And so I want to say thank you for that.
Any questions? Moving now to announcements, requests for future agenda items or open items. Are there any requests?
An announcement.
You have an announcement.
Yes, I do. So I asked about this at the last meeting, but on Sunday, December the 8th, First Baptist Church, Capitol Hill, will be celebrating its 154th church anniversary. Not the point of this announcement at all. As a part of that day of celebration, we will be dedicating the J. Frankie Pierce Park. The J. Frankie Pierce was a member of First Baptist Church, Capitol Hill. You may recall that, well, you wouldn't recall, you weren't there. No. In 1923, she started the Tennessee Vocational School for Colored Girls, and she was one of the few Tennessee black suffragists and was very instrumental in getting black women out to vote in the 1919 election that formed the municipal government that we have today. We will also be unveiling the Nelson Mary Historical Marker, which sits at I don't know which end, but one of the entrances to the park. And Nelson Mary was the first pastor of First Baptist Church, Capitol Hill. So all are welcome to the worship service that starts at 10 o'clock. And immediately following that, somewhere between 11:30 and noon, we will walk one block up to the park for those ceremonies. I also want to just take a moment to thank, obviously, the Parks Department for the work that was done there, and the Capitol View Joint Venture Group were really good partners. A couple of years ago, they actually came to the church and gave a presentation to us and shared their intention of being able to help us retain the historical significance of Nelson Mary Street and that area as well. So thanks to everybody, and I hope to see you.
Thank you. Any other requests or announcements? Hearing none, I'll accept a motion for adjournment. Is there a second? We're adjourned.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.